Welcome into the Game Plan with head coach Dan Quinn. Here are your hosts, Bryan Colbert Jr. and Logan Paulsen.
Welcome into the Game Plan Commanders family. We are back at Northwest Stadium taking on the Atlanta Falcons. We catch up with head coach Dan Quinn to talk all about today's matchup.
And then we're heading to the film room to look at JD's 5-touchdown day and what transfers to the Atlanta Falcons today.
5 touchdowns, wow. And then at the end of the show, we get into our must-watch matchups. All that and more
on the Game Plan.
Welcoming in head coach Dan Quinn to the Game Plan. What a battle it was against the Philadelphia Eagles, but we got the win. From your perspective as the head coach, what was that game like?
Well, I didn't love how it started, I can tell you that. It took a lot of trust from the guys. On the Tell the Truth Monday, we talked about this team is tough. They're never out of the fight. They aren't, and it's because of their collective mindset. They support one another. They fought back into it, and so when they had a chance to go win it at the end, that's when I knew that's when we're at our best. We've been in a lot of close games, and all those moments, they start to add up where they feel uncomfortable in those end-of-game moments. But it was cool to see the finish. We got a lot to clean up on to get better at, but man, do I love our resolve and what we're made of. This is a tough group, man. I wouldn't want to coach any other team. They are all about it.
And you talk about like the finish of this game, and you know, I've been part of a bunch of teams. Like we all practice finishing, we all do it. It seems like this group has a knack for it. What is the difference between taking it from the practice field and executing it in the game? You know,
it was so unusual, Logan. We practiced the same final 2 plays offensively on Friday. And it actually went to Jamison Crowder on the throw. We got ahead, and so we needed to work a safe 2, meaning like, okay, we were ahead 1. We want the 2-point, but it wasn't by any means necessary. And we ran the same play to the same running back.
That's awesome.
2-play sequence to Jamison, and a lot of times that play actually goes to the tight end. Mm-hmm. We're trying to high-low the backer.
It's like and so Zach, dagger,
and so Zach catches a lot of them. So when it went to Crowder, the receivers were all kind of fired up, you know, and because it usually goes to the tight end. And so wouldn't you know, in the end, plays called, same player in the same spot, and Jaden absolutely ripped it. So as a coach, it makes you happy to know we are playing what we're practicing. And so those timing, the discipline of it to go, that's a big deal. And so the situational football we spent a lot of time on, but to have that happen, I don't think I've ever seen a 2-play sequence at the end of the game where we actually did it on Friday in the snow. It was awesome, man. It was just a wild, like, that's the same play. Same player.
Well, coach, that win turned into a milestone. You are the first coach in franchise history with 10 wins in his first season. First, congratulations, coach. Then Terry gave you the game ball. How big is that milestone for you, and how big was it to share that moment with your team in the locker room? You were fired up.
I was totally surprised. I honestly was. And Coach Gibbs, the one, man. He's the one that sets the standard around here. And you know, that's the one to me, and those are the postseason wins. That's where it's all about. And but I was certainly pumped that Terry recognized that, and you know, we got a lot more to go. We got a lot more under the hood. So you know, as we're still going, we're back at it again. But I was super pumped that that Terry did that.
Yeah, but you're pumped, and I think it's kind of cool because like all of the people that you've brought in to help you, you know, like are it's kind of, I think, a reward for them too. And can you talk about some of those people that kind of, you know, Adam, all these people that kind of gave you this opportunity and made this happen?
And that's what we literally in the team meeting to say, like, the wins are produced by everybody. Yeah. And it's the same thing coming back, like when we're never out of the fight, they also get to carry that weight. And I love that everybody's in it together. They have roles that everybody has to absolutely nail it to do that. And so it's the best being a part of a team and knowing you can count on me, I'll do the same. And for guys like that, Adam has your back, Josh, people, like, that's an excellent feeling as the head coach, knowing that there's support coming for me from every single direction, and I feel it every day.
And to me, it was such a cool moment to hear that Terry gave you the game ball, because Terry hit a milestone, 1,000-yard consecutive seasons for Terry McLaurin. How much fun is it coaching a guy like Terry? Because now you don't got to scheme against him.
No, it's he's so good, and man, then my eyes start lighting up, and that you feel his intensity, and much like a fighter does, you know, and he thrives in those, and so he's such a fun guy to coach. But when you see him coming off the field after a touchdown, You feel the energy, the intensity, the love of it. He's such a rare competitor, and so it's like he's so much fun to coach.
I was going to say, like, we've covered the team for a couple of years now, and I've not seen this side of Terry, like just the absolute, he's a pro's pro, like, but the juice and the excitement, the energy and the passion and the love of it, it just seems like it's something that you guys have all brought here that's made him a better version of himself.
Yeah, he's always been a pro's pro, but now to see him draw out, so much from others and be willing to, be out there and feel that energy and intensity, because he does put it out there, and we absolutely love it for him. The captains in this game, they are absolute sled dog leaders, man. And Wagner and Terry and Jeremy Reeves, man, like I would follow those three anywhere. They're just all about it.
And Coach, you're very familiar, as we look towards the Falcons, you're very familiar with Raheem Morris. What does that familiarity do and affect? How does that affect this matchup, you knowing him so well?
Not as much as people might think. We played against each other lots of times, so not as head coach.
With a coy smile, right?
Yeah, but, honestly, it's just about, getting your group ready to play them and going back and forth. I love the guy. He's like a brother to me, and I'm super pumped that he's there. But going into the battle for it, of what it is, it's just, the team's going after it, and we know each other well, but it's on the field, man.
Yeah, but it is a challenge, I'm assuming, right? Because the league has flexed the game, right? Yep. They're kind of saying, hey, guys, it's important. And you're kind of saying, no, it's just like every other one. I'm sure it takes a different type of communication in that environment,
it's really important. And but we want to make sure, like, we have a process of how we go to get ready. And it's really important, that process. Yeah. What we do on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday to lead up to it so we can play really well. But we do try to make each of the games feel that same process, and so we can go play our best, and that way we feel like we don't have to go up and down and ride at this team. You should give it all. This team you didn't. So they'll get all of us, I promise you, and we will absolutely battle for it, as will they. We know we'll get their best as well, and that's what makes as the calendar's turning, these games a lot of fun.
And Coach Jaden Daniels coming off of a 5-touchdown game. We keep talking about his progression each and every week. How do you want to see him build off of that performance today?
You know what? I don't know, like you said, 3 weeks ago, but after you get a game like that, he's taking big steps. And there's all sorts of ways that he'll want to improve. We want to improve. Obviously, for us, the ball is a big deal, so having a couple interceptions, can we get rid of those in our game? Because those are the things that can cost you. It is hard to win with a turnover margin like that, but in the winning time moments, that is when he is at his best. And that's a really important thing. We practice that a lot. We do that. But for him, man, it's just playing the position, making good decisions for the team, and continuing to just find those spaces that when it comes time for that play, he wants the ball in his hand, and so do we.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a different kind of performance than the New Orleans game, where it was like New Orleans was super technical, and here he's just kind of like baller mode, engaged, like go get it. And like, how do you kind of manage both performances and weigh both and say, because again, they're both really impressive, but in their own different ways.
Yeah, I thought in the New Orleans game, extending maybe plays that he didn't need to, and so got a sack or ran out of bounds, and so there was a screen that was dead and he dirted it. Yeah, that was a good play, a throwaway, and we didn't have to, do anything different. Just get into the next play. So we avoided the negative plays that make it very long, and so we did a much better job on penalties. Didn't have a lot of negative plays. Pass protection, was able to stay firm and get up and throw in the pocket. So those were some things, Logan, I thought that was better than we saw in New Orleans. And now as we get into the next one this week, we'll have specific things, as we're in the red zone and into different spots that we want to nail.
And Coach, our defense will be going against a rookie quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. Only second career start. What has it been like preparing for him?
You go back and watch preseason, you go back and watch the last game, and you see the arm talent, the ability to deliver and play passes. And so they have receivers that can really stretch the field, and a tight end as well. Yeah. Much like Logan's speed, he can really get up.
There you go. For my speed.
But the deep ball, is one of the things that we really, have come to know and see what he's about from his college time to there. He is one tough competitor too. So going into it, we've got to do a great job, making sure our disguises are right, and being on top, because he certainly has the arm talent to get it down the field.
And you've talked about this against New Orleans, I think, when you were saying that it's about the scheme too.
That's right.
This is a scheme you're very familiar with. It's actually probably very similar to what New Orleans runs. It's
That's right.
Heavy play actions, boots. So that's got to also give you some kind of framework for how you're going to call the defense.
That's right. And there's been, some, I guess a lot of offenses or defense have certain, traits that come from one spot. And this one has, motion before the snap. There's wide zone and a lot of play pass that comes with it. So they've got a fantastic running game, Logan. They really do. Wide zones. They can get the ball out on the perimeter easily. And so when you combine that and play action, you know how difficult that can be. And so that's where our focus has to be, making sure difference between the run game and the play passes and staying on top of those big ones.
And Coach, tonight's game is on prime time, Sunday Night Football. Our fans have showed up and showed out for us at home and on the road. What do you need from them in tonight's game to help us get that win over the Falcons?
I've been waiting for you to ask. We are really pumped because there's a real difference they can make. And that's by the energy and the noise that, we can make as a crowd, especially on our third downs, to make it just as absolutely as impossible as it can feel, the loud and guys blitzing and rushing and just making it as challenging as it can. So those are things that we all like to try to simulate at practice and put speakers out there. But when we get that stadium rocking, there ain't no way to simulate that.
Hey, Coach, we are so excited for some prime time football tonight. But before that, you and Logan, y'all got to get in the film room.
That's right.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Always great hearing from our head coach. Now, let's hear a little more about today's matchup. It's time for a competitive edge, brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders. Now, here's a look at the upcoming competition for the Commanders. Washington is looking to keep their momentum as they take on Atlanta at Northwest Stadium today. The team is heading into this game after an exciting win over NFC rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles. Rookie quarterback Janie Daniels became the first quarterback with 5 touchdown passes since Mark Rippon in 1991. The Falcons are coming off a win over the Giants after rookie quarterback Michael Penix Jr.'s first career start. Now stick around, Commanders fans. Logan and Coach Quinn will head into the film room right after this break to talk about some of Jaden's most electric plays from last week's win over the Eagles. I promise you, you won't want to miss it. And later on in the show, Logan and I will talk about the matchups we are looking forward to watching today at Northwest Stadium.
You're watching The Game Plan, presented by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. And by Marsh McLennan Agency, official employee benefits partner of the Washington Commanders. And by Cognier Technology, secure today, shape tomorrow.
Welcome back into the Game Plan. It's time to go inside the film room. Brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly.
All right, Coach, can't wait to watch the team against the Atlanta Falcons today, and I think there was a lot of good stuff to take away from this Eagles game. And first off was just, hey, this guy played great, and this guy 17 played great. And I think everybody knows that, but also I thought this offensive line did a great job. We're going to hopefully highlight some of the stuff they did really well. Here's this touchdown to Terry. He's just going to run kind of like just a straight vertical, but he puts a little bit of seasoning on it in a way that Terry does so well.
Yeah, to be outside the numbers here on this one, Logan, and now to stem inside like it's going to be an in-breaking route, obviously to get the corner to turn and adjust, and then now break him back outside off the stem. And I thought, man, talk about timing. Jaden throws an absolute dime right to the only spot that, again, has to speed it up against an empty protection, where he's going to take the hit, but staying in there to deliver just a fantastic pass.
Yeah, really just a fantastic throw. And again, I look at this also like in the face of the pressure, like you're talking about. They're getting an inside pressure here. They're to the man side, right? They got to double this up. They got to squeeze it, get a free rusher, and Jaden just stays extremely calm, and that's big time football.
Yeah, staring right down into it, knowing you're going to get hit takes a lot of toughness to do that play. This is going to hurt, and he absolutely threw a dime. So these two have a special connection.
Yeah, it's great to see that, and great to see them each and every week kind of still maximizing it. And this one I thought was great call by Cliff. I think great execution. They're known for this kind of match coverage where they get these 4 defenders over 3, and they kind of rely on them flooding the zone. But again, love the concept here because we've got the flat, we've got the little under, and we get the corner. And in the kind of confusion of mixing and matching, they end up screwing this up.
Yep, and you know this, Logan, as you get down into the red zone, the things vertical aren't as as effective anymore. And so when teams are playing someone to the flat, how do you high-low flat defenders? How do you get to people to go? As you can see the defender take them to the flat. Now, how do you try to work the inside player, try to get the corner to go over the top, take one? And so it's a good design, but buying some extra time by Jaden and OZ to get outside, it's just cool, really cool to see different people step up when called upon. That's an example here with OZ
making a play.
Making a play. And so for him, 2 touchdowns, it's a big deal.
And speaking of people stepping up, this is Jalen Carter one-on-one here. We got to fight a little bit here.
Yes.
A little dog fight. And again, this is the thing that no one sees that. Yes. No one sees the route. No one sees the pattern. But these are the things that make this play go.
Yeah, they're all an extension of and connected to each other. And so the play that's thrown there was by the protection, by by Tyler, by Sam, by Wiley. That doesn't happen without that.
Yeah, and a great play by OZ like you were just talking about. And again, this is maybe the coolest play because, again, 10 seconds left, no timeouts left. It's got to be a shot in the end zone, right, to ensure the second opportunity, right, because you can run 2 plays. Yep. And really just a great call by everybody, right? So we're getting kind of what I would call like an inside dagger here, right? Great job by him getting in the end zone. And then kind of here, you're kind of working to high-low this player here, right? Or put him in a little bit of a blender, and the guys just do a great job with the execution.
It's a similar coverage to the previous one, and so as you're working to this 3 receiver side, kind of the same thing, can you work people on a high-low concept, whereas it's coming back inside, that's the defender inside 53 that you're trying to high-low. And so although the route was fantastic, tight end, receiver, the quarterback absolutely rips it, and kind of for the the fans to know, like, we actually ran this play for this player on Friday.
Yeah, and again, like this to me is big time stuff, right? This is you as a quarterback, like this is where he's throwing the ball, like doesn't look very open, but understanding that this guy's gonna get to the grass, you can put the ball where it needs to be, and you saying this before we started, like what a throw by this guy.
And that when you practice that and then you get it called in the game, you've had the experience, you had the reps at it, and so to see that take place, and this guy, he's one tough competitor, man. He was on the IR for a long time this season, and so he has given us a lift in this return, and he's somebody we respect a lot.
Yeah, another guy that you have a lot of respect for, I have a lot of respect for, is Coach Greg Knapp. You're doing something very special for him today, and kind of getting the Atlanta Falcons staff together before the game to get that going.
So before the game, both the Atlanta staff and the Commander staff will get together to one, honor Greg Knapp, and 2, to bring awareness to distracted driving. And so Greg passed away in the 2021 summer, and man, he's sorely missed. So I got to coach with him in 3 different locations, and not only was he a hell of a coach, he was a hell of a teammate. Yeah,
hell of a coach, hell of a teammate, and it's great that you can honor him in that way and bring attention to an issue that is very, very important. But Coach, good luck today. Thank you for this knowledge as always. Really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Always great insight, Coach and Logan. Now it's time for your Prime Player, brought to you by DC Prime, Loudoun's premier steakhouse. For dinner reservations or private dining, call 703-840-2099. Now, this week's Prime Player is rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels. JD5 officially has recorded over 4,000 combined yards and has set a new franchise single-season record for combined yards by a rookie quarterback, passing RG3, who had 4,015 yards. Jaden is at 4,040. He is also the only rookie in franchise history to throw 5 touchdowns and rush for 65 yards in a game. Now, if you want to hear more about your favorite Commanders players, stay right there because Logan and I will be right back to talk about the upcoming matchups we can't wait to see in today's game. All that's on the game plan after this break. Welcome back into the Game Plan, Commanders family. I have great news for you. We have Commanders content going out every day this week. We have podcasts, shows, press conferences, and so much more. Be sure to subscribe to the Commanders YouTube page and turn on the bell so that you get notified every time we post.
Now it's time for your ticket to a win, presented by SeatGeek. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
As always, Logan, our ticket to a win are these must-watch matchups. You have 60 seconds. Let's get right to it.
Oh yeah, Bijan Robinson versus Bobby Wagner, and this is going to be a huge matchup because Bijan Robinson is becoming a special player, man. I know he's drafted as a special player, but his ability to catch the football, his silky smooth running style, the offense really has run through him the past couple of weeks, and with a rookie quarterback, that's going to be a big piece. But Bobby Wagner is an outstanding football player, and I think he can match up really well here. And if he can contain this guy, going to be a good day for the Washington Commanders.
Over 90 yards and 2 touchdowns for Bijan in the last game. Next one.
Dude, Drake London and Marshawn Lattimore. Drake London, to me, is kind of playing his way into this kind of top 10 receiver category. Plays in the slot, plays outside, big body. I think our guy Marshawn is used to that, going against Mike Evans all the time. Can't wait to watch this matchup because, again, big chunk of their offense.
Very familiar with each other,
Yes.
these two as well. All right, last one.
Yeah, dude, Jesse Bates and Jaden Daniels. The reason Jesse Bates is up here is because he is a turnover machine, man. His ability to track and find the football is special. He really is the heart and soul of that defense. Need to know where he's at all times. And again, our guy Jaden Daniels needs to be a little bit more protective of the football this week. 2 turnovers last week. Let's see if we can get that to 0. Counting with this guy's going to be a big part of that.
Oh, man, huge matchups to watch in today's game. For head coach Dan Quinn, Logan Paulsen, Bryan Colbert Jr., this is the game plan. Let's get this win today. And, of course, we'll see y'all next Sunday.